All right, folks, what is going on? Welcome to a Saturday edition, episode 636 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. And today, we're going to talk about Jeff Okudah's injury. And we also going to talk about the college football crazy realignment. Well, I mean, what is going on in college football? So, two quick topics. Don't want to keep you guys too long, but I do owe you guys an episode from yesterday, because I was just working late and I was not able to put together it wouldn't have been efficient. I'll just put it like that. It would have been efficient. So I do apologize, but here we are. So we're going to talk about those two topics. If this is your first time here, welcome. I could be found on YouTube and Rumble. I'm also on Spotify, Stitcher, Apple, and Google Podcasts. You can follow me on X or Twitter, whichever you want to call it, at VF Baller, and the website is firstandframerates.com. Real quick, I think I said this in the video I did on YouTube, and I stand by it. I am a big fan that Matt Ryan was at training camp, and I would like to see more of it. And I just want to put that out there because I think he can be an asset to a coaching staff if the CBS thing don't work out. Nevertheless, let's go ahead and get into the show. Jeff Okudah's ankle injury is not as severe as once thought. People are they are rejoicing that his injury is not as bad and he should be back early in the season. I expect him to be back by week 4. But by then, you're going to have some guys coming in, basically stepping up. I've heard that Mike Hughes is probably going to be in his replacement for right now. But I also think that Clark Phillips as well is another guy that's looking really good. So you got a lot of options in the secondary. So I'm not too worried about this situation. I am more worried about his health because this is a guy that's on a contract year. And from what I'm hearing, he's been working really hard in training camp. And I want to see him flourish because I think with him and AJ Terrell, I think there can be a really good young, duo in the secondary. That is somewhat of a major blow, but it could have been worse. He had a right ankle injury, but he should be back a little bit earlier than expected because the way it went down, they thought he was going to be out for the entire season because they said it was a lower leg injury. A lot of people thought it was a knee, torn ACL. You know how that goes, meniscus, any of that stuff could ruin a guy, not only his season, but his career. But it could be a career injury. It depends on how severe the knee injury is. I mean, I don't want to compare injuries or whatever, but I remember Lattimore from South Carolina, dude never was the same at this knee injury. But then again, you have people like Adrian Peterson. So, I mean, even Sam Kennerson for Georgia Southern tore his ACL, and he's back out there running routes. So, you don't want to, think about an ACL injury or anything that of the case of that matter. But it is good to know that Okudah's only had an ankle injury and he should be back by early in the season. What does this mean for the team? I think they're going to be fine. It is something you don't want to see, but you got like 3 or 4 guys that's going to be stepping up and putting in work, and that's a good thing. By the time Okudah comes back, they'll probably work him in the roster, let him put in work throughout practice and see if he can beat some guys out for a starting position by week 5 or 6. Just don't know. But I'm going to be quite honest. Based on what this kid has done so far in training camp, I don't want to let this guy go. He's in a contract year, and I want to see him continue to make that commitment and put in the work to be a solid number 2, possibly even a number 1. And that doesn't mean anything that AJ Terrell is going to be pushed to the side. It's like, you want to have 2 number 1s on both sides of the defense, right? So I think this is a situation where this could be the case. So I would like to see him flourish and continue to get better, work out through that injury, see what he can do, watch film, watch tape, continue to get better, work out the parts of his body that he can so he'll be ready to go once he gets back into the swing of things. So I'm glad that he's only going to be out for, maybe now we're looking at maybe 3, 4, maybe a month and a half at the most. And he'll be back to play. Now you got to understand, he's a young guy. He's only 24 years old. I mean, if he continues to, if he continues to work hard, I mean, he could be a very solid, cornerback for the next few years. A lot of people have been giving him the third degree because he was drafted so high. He was like third overall in the 2020 draft. And, I get it. People gave AJ Terrell a lot of slack, but Okudah was all the way in Detroit. And in 2019, 2020, Detroit was basically a place you didn't want to play. Now it looks totally different, and that's awesome. But nevertheless, you're looking at a guy now that's on a team that look like they're going to be putting some work in, and they're going to actually be able to facilitate his ability. So I think it's just going to be all good all the way around. So with that being said, get well soon, Jeff Okudah. Hopefully you'll be able to come back, make a difference. I want to see at least 2 or 3 interceptions once you step back on the field. Sounds good to me. Now, before we get out of here, let's talk about this conference realignment. I mean, I don't even know where to go. The Pac-12 is pretty much gutted. I mean, I don't even know what to say about the Pac-12. The Pac-12 is about done. You have the Big 12 getting Arizona. They're getting Arizona State. I think they're getting Utah. Colorado is leaving. And then the Pac-12 is losing Oregon and Washington to the Big 10. So I don't know what the Pac-12 is going to be. Now, what does this mean for college football in general? I don't see much changing as far as the style of play or the competitiveness of play, but a lot of traditions is probably going to be going out the window. I mean, you got UCLA and USC going to the Big 10. That's cool. You got Texas and Oklahoma going to the SEC. That's cool. But you really looking at other teams that may not have those traditions anymore. And it kind of sucks. I do like the fact that the Big 12 is getting some, solid teams, because you got to think about it. About 4 years ago, the Big 12, I'd say maybe 2 years ago, the Big 12 was like the laughing joke of the Power Five. I mean, they didn't have anybody at one point. Nebraska left, and then, you had Texas, Oklahoma, K-State, and Kansas. But, I mean, okay, TCU just embarrassed themselves against Georgia in the national title game. So the Big 12 was not looking that good. But nevertheless, they've got some teams now that they're going to be all right. And I don't know what to make of the ACC either. I don't know what's going to happen with them. I mean, are they going to be, formidable? I don't know. I mean, you still got Florida State, Miami, and you got a few others. I mean, you got Florida State, Miami, Louisville, Georgia Tech, North Carolina. I mean, you got some teams there. Football wise, I don't know. I mean, Tech hasn't really been anything for a while now, and I just don't know what to make of the ACC. It looks like it's going to be a Big Ten SEC battle for the next, for the next 5, 10, 15 years. What does this make for the group of five? And I'm going to end off with this. I'm going to end with this. The group of five, they just need to find a way to get some teams, probably pull some teams up from the FCS. And I think they just need to start making their own national championship. I really believe that. There's no way a group of five team is going to compete with what's going on now. Everybody say, oh, these teams going to get chances and this, that. Yeah, they're going to get chances, but I don't see it. Maybe I'm not looking at it correctly right now, but I don't see, like, they say, like, what if a Coastal Carolina, Appalachian State, or a Georgia Southern go undefeated? I mean, what does that mean? You know what I mean? I mean, you got the Big 10 and the Big 12, and it's basically the Big 10, Big 12, and the SEC is basically running roughshod. I mean, the Pac-12, I don't know what's going to happen with them. And when you look at the ACC, you shrug your shoulders as well. So I just don't know. I just think the group of five just need to get together, probably pull some FCS teams up. I think the Sun Belt is solidified. The Sun Belt is good. I don't have to worry about the Sun Belt. But when you look at other teams like the MAC, and you look at the Mountain West, you look at the Conference USAs of the world, they need to just go ahead and find a way to just get themselves together to put, some type of league together where they can get their own national championship at this point. I mean, you already got it in the FCS world, Division II, Division III. They have their own the group of five is like in limbo. They're like right below FCS. I mean, right above FCS, but below Power 5. And it's like, what are they going to do? Are they just going to be the punching bag for the Power 5 for the next 20, 30 years? I mean, what are we doing here? So I made an episode about this before where they need to just go ahead and make their own playoff. I think it would be exciting. There's already an argument that the at least in the Sun Belt, that the football is better in the Sun Belt than any other conference. There's an argument for that. So, I mean, you look at the SEC, you got Bama, you got Georgia, you got in Big Ten, you got Ohio State and Michigan. I mean, you got about maybe 7 teams in the Power 5s that you're like, okay, these are the teams I'm going to look at. The group of 5, I mean, at least in the Sun Belt, every team has a shot outside of Georgia State. But every team has a shot. I know I shouldn't be talking about Georgia State because we can't beat them for nothing for some reason. But nevertheless, but like I said, it's better football there, in my opinion. In the NFL, I mean, not NFL, but the Power 5 is starting to be a de facto NFL. They're about to be like the real version of the minor leagues of the NFL, and they're realigning themselves to be somewhat like that. The Big Ten, AFC, the SEC, NFC, and all the other ones are like, yeah, y'all are just teams. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I feel like the realignment is crazy, is kind of wild, but at the same time, I feel that it is what it is. That's what they want to do. And in my opinion, I think just the group of 5 just need to go ahead and do their own thing. So if you like this commentary, hit the like button, share this podcast, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know what you guys think about everything that I've said. I am going to get up out of here. It's been a pretty cool weekend so far. Going to enjoy the rest of my evening and Sunday. And hopefully I will see you guys back here on Monday. Hopefully we have some new news about all the other things that's going on. All right, y'all. I'm going to get up out of here. Y'all take it easy and y'all be blessed. Peace.